Time now for a segment brought to you by Massey Associates. Life is expensive, especially now with the housing market prices as they are and inflation soaring. So what if you want to pull from your IRA early? Well, here with some advice is certified financial planner Jeffrey Massey. Good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning. Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Happy to have you with us. So 59 and a half is the age that we like to keep in mind when we're talking about the IRAs. That's when we can typically withdraw from them. But as I just mentioned, life sometimes hits you.
Absolutely.
And you might need to pull from that sort of account. What do we need to know if we find ourselves having to pull from that IRA prior to the age of 59 and a half?
Well, the IRAs have a special tax treatment because they're tax deferred. You do not pay taxes on a traditional IRA.
Right.
And the IRS allows you to build that up over literally decades and then pay taxes down the road. It's a good advantage. However, they want to make sure you're using that for retirement. So they attach that 10% penalty if you're under 59 and a half. However, there are exceptions. Now, the first one is death. So they figure death is enough of a penalty that they don't need to take 10% of your account as well. It's also a 10% exception for disability. Now I have a list, there's like 15 different things. So I have a list here to make sure that we get them all. There's something called a 72T payment, which we'll talk a little bit about in a minute, where you can take out equal payments. But it's very technical there. Medical expenses, however, it has to be greater than 7.5% of your adjusted gross income. Okay. So if you spend $1,000, it's probably not going to work. However, if you have a large medical expense, take money out of your IRA and it's more than 7.5% of your adjusted gross income, then you can avoid that 10%
avoid the penalty.
Of course, if there's an IRS levy, which is good. So if you're in trouble with the IRS and they're coming after your money, they won't hit you with a 10% penalty as well. Okay. So that's nice, I guess. Active reservists can take money out without a 10% penalty, which is nice because now they've been taken from their job and they're on active duty. So if they need extra money, they're not penalized to take that money out, which is a nice thing to know. Yes. Also for births or even adoptions, you can avoid a 10% penalty.
That can become costly and maybe unexpected. You don't realize what you're getting yourself into sometimes.
Yeah, especially with adoptions. You know, because those can run much higher. Now, there are some exceptions just for IRAs versus retirement plans. So there is a higher education expense. So if you use your money for higher education expenses, you can avoid that 10% penalty. Great. Here's the neat part. It's the account holder, their spouse, their children, or even grandchildren. Wow. Now that might be far and few between because under 59 and a half with a grandchild going to college. It may not fit for a lot of people, but it's there just in case you need it. Also, if you're unemployed, and a lot of people have become unemployed, if you pay your health insurance with money from the IRA, you can avoid the 10% penalty. Great to know. And then from the plan side, age 55 exception, which is a really good one. We can talk a little bit more about that if we have time. Age 50 for public safety employees, firefighters, police, etc. And then if there's a divorce, a quadro, which is a qualified domestic relations order, people get divorced. If they have to split the account, there's no penalty to do that, to put it in the name of the spouse. I hate to cut you off, Jeff, because we unfortunately are out of time, but you brought up so many great points, so many interesting life events, and maybe some folks out there are contemplating right now, they're not sure how they're going to be handling one of those. So go to your website. Go see Jeff. Please talk to him. He's going to talk you through each of those 15 different options. That's what we're here for. So you can get to MasseyMoney.com through the Roadshow website. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect, Jeff. Thanks so much. This segment was brought to you by Massey Associates. For even more helpful information, as he just mentioned, we have a link up at Roadshow.com.